Looks like I accidentally turned the computer off. I hope I can learn to put these together, or I have to do part 2. So, okay, so we're going over the Berkely County, West Virginia Sheriff's website. And here's where it says, the BCSD administration made a promise to promote transparency. They want to promote transparency, yet you have to fill out a form, print it out, fill it out, bring it in, and pay $20 to get any information that you want. And then schedule a time to come pick it up. But they are promoting transparency. So with that effort in mind, we have created an incident response tracking page to provide real-time information to the members of the county. This site is updated daily and will allow you to see calls so you understand exactly what your Berkely County deputies are doing to aid citizens and create a safer community for everyone. So here's this page. Let's just go there. It takes a minute. Don't forget, we're still going to talk about that $20. So you got to totally leave this site and go to another site. Oh, okay. Well, if you care, or if you're from Berkely County and you care to look at this, click here, and it takes you to a page that gives you a little map of the county with some symbols on it, and then a breakdown on the side of, like, okay, between this time, say you put in the last 24 hours. So for the last 24 hours, in this area of the county, there were 4 calls for robberies. Or there were, in Bunker Hill, there were 6 calls for domestic abuse. And you can go and look on Bunker Hill for the last 2 weeks and find out how many calls there were for disturbances or noise ordinances or whatever you want to know. But you can't get any information about those calls. It just says how many calls there were, what they got called out for, kind of a breakdown like that. So when I saw that $20 fee, and knowing that the law normally says that you have to charge a reasonable fee for the cost of printing, of doing these documents. So I went ahead and looked up West Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Let me pull it up for you because there's important information in there. And here's the thing about the hierarchy of the law, okay? A city can give more rights to its citizens than the state, but not less. A state can give more rights to its citizens than the federal government, but not less. The way our system is set up now, the federal government will trump if they try to leave the states to states' rights in many things, which, as you all know, because we're out here screaming and fighting because there's too much governmental overreach into state business, into city business, into family business, all that. Okay, that's a whole nother issue. But the point I'm trying to make here is that when the state says one thing, a county can't come in and say something and make it more strict. Okay? So I've actually, won a little criminal case on this where well, no, we didn't win the case, but the town was trying to charge an exorbitant exorbitant, that's the word, exorbitant fine for a petty charge. And when the town was trying to do that, when I looked up the county code, the county had a limit on how much could be charged for that. And so we only had to pay what the county said you could charge. The sad part was, while I sat there through that hearing, we ended up paying $50. But I sat there and watched 4 other people pay $200 because the city thought they could charge more than the county. Follow. City, county, state, fed, okay? So we are here at the, can you see? Does it make it backwards when we do it this way? I think so. I think it's better if I turn it around, turn the camera around. There's nothing going on over there still. There was a little activity. Ant was over there. I think he took a nap, charged up his stuff. So, okay. Let's turn you around again. I want you to see that I'm not making this stuff up. I'm actually doing the research. So this is what this is, the West Virginia legislature site. And this is the West Virginia Code, Article 1, Public Records. Okay? Article 1, Section 29B, Public Records. So we're going to go over here to the glossary, and we're going to go down to inspection first, inspection and copying of public record requests of freedom of information. More than likely, most states pretty much codify the federal law when it comes to things like this. It's kind of easier, kind of makes for easier enforcement, making sure everybody gets fair treatment. Is this? Okay. So, Chapter 29B, Freedom of Information, Article 1, Public Records, Section 29B, 1 through 3, Inspection and Copying of Public Record Requests of Freedom of Information Act, Requests Registry. So I have to put it up so I can read it. I can't see that. Okay. Every person has a right to inspect or copy any public record of a public body in this state, except as otherwise expressly provided by Section 4 of this article. So if you were wondering if you have access to that information, you'd have to go look at Section 4. Right now we're looking at Sections 1 through 3. A request to inspect or copy any public record of a public body shall be made directly to the custodian of such public record. So, if we want information about the West Virginia Sheriff's Department, that's where we're supposed to make the request. When I called and asked Lieutenant Burns where I made the request, he didn't know. As the custodian of his own records, he should know this. Okay, then we go, Section C. The custodian of any public records, unless otherwise expressly provided by statute, shall furnish proper and reasonable opportunities for inspection and examination of the records in his or her office and reasonable facilities for making memoranda or abstracts therefrom during the usual. Now, okay, guys, most agencies would rather just copy the information out for you and give it to you and let you go on your way than have you around the office looking at documents and inspecting and recording and making copies. But you have a right to do that during the usual business hours to all persons having occasion to make examination of them. The custodian of, here's the important part I want you to see. The custodian of the records may make Reasonable rules. There's that word, reasonable. And it keeps telling you words matter. Words matter. Reasonable. Reasonable rules and regulations necessary for the protection. Oh, wait. Wrong section. We got it. This is them keeping the documents. They have to furnish copies of the requested. Here's all requests for, this is important too. Because remember I told you on the Sheriff Department site, it didn't give any time. All requests for information. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for either. Anyway, that's saying that all the requests have to give as much information about the incident as possible. The custodian, upon demand for records, may, under the statute, shall, as soon as is practicable, but within a maximum of 5 days, not including Saturdays, Sundays, or legal holidays. So even though the Sheriff's Department says they just have unlimited reasonable time to respond to this request, they actually have 5 business days to respond, according to state law. And then I want to find you, okay, here it is right here, E. The public body may establish fees reasonably calculated, there's the word, to reimburse it for its actual cost in making reproductions of the records. They may reimburse. They can get reimbursed for the actual cost in making the record. It does not yet, as far as I know, cost $20 to print out a incident report. They may not. Look. A public body may not charge a search or retrieval fee or otherwise seek reimbursement based on man-hour basis as part of costs associated with making reproduction of records. Says that the Secretary of State will maintain electronic records, and we can have access to those as well. So when we do our public records requests, I will be including a copy of the state code that lets them know how long they have to respond and how much they can charge. They cannot charge me. How many people are they charging $20 to print out, like, say, an accident report? People need access to the law. They need access to government documents. And they're doing that to hinder your access. Berkely County, West Virginia voters, this is your sheriff. This is your department. Not only are they not acting fairly, they're making false arrests, and you know who's going to pay for it? If they pay out for the false arrest they made the other night, you know who's going to pay for it. You. Not the cops, not the sheriff that messed up. It's not going to come out of the sheriff's pocket. It's not going to come out of the deputies' pockets. It's going to come out of the taxpayers' pockets. So, pick up some report request forms and get information. We will be filing several. And that's going to cost a lot of money at $20 an item. All right, you guys, I'm going to take a break, post these videos, and I might see you later on tonight, and I might not. Talk later. Bye.